Hey everyone, Joss Willard here. We're looking at video number 3 today. This time, me and my buddy Mario, we're going to talk to you about how to make it through what is commonly referred to as an anxiety attack or a panic attack. Okay? So, step number 1, the first thing you need to know is that anxiety and panic attacks will show up differently for everyone. We talked yesterday about how everybody's anxiety has its own personality. There are some personality types. Those personality types tend to show up in different ways. It's not always that panic attack that we expect everyone, that fear that I'm going to die, that belief that I'm having a heart attack and that it's going to kill me, that belief that the world is caving in on me. Yeah, that's fairly common, but it can also show up as anger. It can show up, OCD is actually an anxiety-related disorder. It can show up in a number of different ways. So understand that it's not necessarily always going to show up the way that people expect panic attacks to show up, but that they belong to you, and that there are some common threads. There are 3 common things that occur with every panic or anxiety attack that you need to know about. Number 1, it starts up here. Every anxiety attack or panic attack will start in your head. It doesn't stay there. I'm not saying that it's just in your head, and I'm not saying that positive thinking is a successful long-term solution, because it's not. Positive thinking is not going to stop a panic attack. Positive thinking is not going to end all of your anxiety in your life. It's a nice tool, but it's not an answer. So number 1, it starts up here. Okay. It starts up here because it is a response to a perceived threat. We think something is coming that we need to worry about, okay? Well, when we perceive a threat up here, it triggers physical reactions in our body. That is our harm avoidance system, okay? Sometimes we freeze, sometimes we panic, sometimes we run, sometimes we fight. All of these things can work into an anxiety attack, but the understanding is that it starts here and it moves into our body. It is an attempt to keep us safe. We talked yesterday also about how your anxiety is trying to help you. Well, it's trying to help keep you alive. It doesn't feel very helpful, I understand that, but it is an attempt to help you be safe, be alive. So we're going to talk about how to tamp that down in some things, future videos. So the first thing that all anxiety attacks have in common, they start here. The second thing that they all have in common is they move into the rest of the body. The third thing that they all have in common is this: you can handle it, right? Anxiety and panic attacks are not in and of themselves fatal. You can survive this. You have probably survived them before. You're going to be able to survive this one, and you're going to be able to handle it. And I'm going to give you the system that can help you to do that, all right? So step 1 in the system is learn to recognize when your anxiety attacks are coming. Learn to recognize what triggers them. Learn to recognize what it feels like as they're building. The reason for this is twofold. Number 1, when we don't recognize an anxiety attack or a panic attack, it gets even worse because we're panicking about what's happening. We don't know what's going on. We get anxious about having an anxiety attack, and that just feeds right into itself and creates this bad catch-22 giant boulder downward spiral. Okay, the second reason that you need to learn to recognize the oncoming of an anxiety attack or a panic attack is because that gives us a chance to stop it before it shows up. That gives us a chance to minimize things, to remove ourselves from a situation that might be triggering those types of things. So, step number 1, recognize what's happening. Step number 2, acknowledge what's happening and accept it. One of the things that makes anxiety attacks even worse, like I said before, is that we get anxious about the fact that we're having an anxiety attack. The more we try to fight that anxiety attack, the more we try to fight that panic, the more worked up we get. Again, that body's physical system that's trying to save you from a threat sees the panic attack as a threat, ramps it up, feeds the panic attack, right? So learn to accept it. Say, all right, I've recognized this is an anxiety attack. I'm experiencing panic. I'm experiencing an anxiety attack. I know how this works. I know there's a process that I can go through. I'm going to go through that process right now. So that's step number 2. Number 1, recognize. Number 2, accept. Number 3, first step to actually moving through it is get out of your head. The panic attack, the anxiety attack started up in here, but it's now down here in the body. So we need to get down in the body with it. The more time we spend in our head, the more fuel we give it. So let's get into the body. Let's help get through this. And the best ways to get into the body are to get physical. Do some exercise. Go for a walk. Go for a run. Do some push-ups. Do some jumping jacks. Do some sit-ups. Something that makes you build up a sweat, something that can get you focused on your body. If you're not in a situation where you can do that right away, you can do what we call different clenching exercises. You can clench your fingers, you can clench them really tight, you can release them one at a time, bring them back down. You can also do this with your toes. You can clench and release your toes in your shoes, or even better, if you have the ability to get out of your shoes, do it on the carpet, in the dirt, in the grass, something where you can actually feel that connection to the ground, right? It gets you out of your head, into your body, into the ground. You can combine that with breathing. You can count as you breathe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, as you take those deep breaths. You can actually combine counting and breathing with your clenching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? You can do it that way. So those things, physically moving, getting connected to that. Another thing that you can do, something that can sometimes help, is to feel productive. And a way that you can feel productive is to clean something, or organize something, or move furniture around, or dust. That type of thing where you're doing a physical activity and you can focus on whatever it is. I'm using my imaginary duster. You can focus on whatever it is that you're doing to change the world around you. And again, it pulls you out of your head, into your body, and into the world. Another thing that helps is relating to that world around you and changing your focus, changing your perspective. One literal way to change your focus or perspective is, a great key is to keep a colored stone or a glass lens or plastic lens in your pocket that you have at all times for emergencies. Or you can keep a special pair of sunglasses that is a different color that you wouldn't normally wear. Pink, purple, green, blue, whatever that case may be, or even kaleidoscope lenses. And then when you start to feel yourself in the middle of an anxiety attack, pop those bad boys out, put them on, start looking at the world through this new unique perspective, and start paying a lot of attention to how your reaction with the world is changing based on that. Okay, so those are all tips. The primary most important thing is take an action, get out of your head, get into your body, and try to get your body as connected to the world around you as you can. That will help you come up over that hill and ease it down on the other side. Once you've done that, the next step, you've made it through, right? You keep doing that activity until you make it through, and then give yourself a high five. Celebrate the fact that you just made it through an anxiety attack. You just made it through a panic attack. You're on the other side. Life is good. Raise your hands in the air and go, woohoo! That actually releases happy juice in your brain. We could talk about that another day, but that will help you to calm down and feel more positive about it at the end. Last thing that you want to do as part of making it through the anxiety attack or the panic attack is have some gratitude. Understand that your body, your mind are trying to help you. They care enough about you that they will go into a hyper-aware and hyper-anxious state just to keep you alive and keep you safe. So make sure to thank yourself for loving yourself enough to go through that. All right? So, you've made it through an anxiety attack. Congratulations. What we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the next things that you can do. We're going to do that tomorrow, actually. We're going to talk about how to change your environment, build your environment so that your body and your brain don't necessarily think that panic attacks are necessary, right? So we can minimize that. We can minimize their need to show up. We will talk about that tomorrow, so please be here. Please bring a friend. Like and share this video with the people who are most important in your lives, the people who you think can benefit from joining in on our conversation. Another thing you could do, if you have something that I didn't talk about today, something that you use to get through anxiety attacks or panic attacks that you think might be helpful to the rest of us, go ahead and put that in the comments down below. I would love to see what other people are doing, and maybe we can use that to help build a happier, better life for all of us. So, looking forward to it. We will see you all tomorrow. Until then, live your best life today. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.